What is up, everyone? Today is Tuesday, which means that it's time for another live Q&A. As always, I'm your host, Paul J Lipsky. Hey, if you're here, that means you're probably interested in learning how to start an e-commerce business, probably dropshipping on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. That's pretty much most of what I talk about here on my YouTube channel. If that interests you, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And while you're here, ask your question inside the live chat if you are here with me live. If you're not here live, you want some questions answered, make sure to come to the next live Q&A. I do them pretty much every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Come, jump into the live chat, ask your question right away so that I see it right there at the top and really increases the chances that your question will be answered. All right. Let's get into the first questions, and then I will talk about some other stuff that I have to tell you guys. Okay. Mary Ann says, hey, just a quick question. First, what's up, Mary? Thanks for joining us. When we use, for example, Walmart as a supplier, are we creating a personal or business account with Walmart, or are we just making the orders as a guest? So actually, Mary, you could just do it as a personal. Some of these businesses have, some of these suppliers, I should say, have business accounts that you can set up. I'm thinking of like Lowe's for Pros, if you're using Lowe's. Home Depot has one. Amazon has one as well. The Amazon one is not bad, to be honest. You actually sometimes do get some discounts, rarely on some items. The other ones really don't make sense for what we do as drop shippers. Usually a lot of those discounts you can only get if you go in person and buy certain things in bulk. So it really doesn't make sense. Just go with the straight account. Most of them make you set up an account by this point. You used to be able to do guest checkout, for instance, on Home Depot, and that seems to have gone away. So you have to create an account with them. So I would go ahead and set up an account, but just a regular account, the same account that any consumer would set up when they were going to purchase items. And this is one of the really cool things about doing retail drop shipping. It's just how easy the fulfillment process is. When we are drop shipping, like from Walmart onto eBay or Facebook Marketplace, all we're doing is listing up these items for sale that we find from Walmart, list them up for sale on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. And then once those items sell, all you have to do is go ahead and buy that item from Walmart, the same way you would buy that item if you were going to purchase it for yourself. And during the checkout process, instead of your address, you enter in your buyer's address, and then Walmart will ship it directly to them. So it really makes it very, very simple process. Really, like anyone can do this, kind of a no-brainer type project. All right. So if you're here, guys, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. I have a little bit of a surprise. So if we get to, let's say, 25 thumbs up. If we get to 25 thumbs up, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this Rubiks Cube. I'll make sure to mix it up. Mix it up quite a bit before that. But if we get to 25 thumbs up, I'll mix this up and I'll go ahead and solve this, or try to solve this, and you guys can laugh at me while I do that. Cool. Oh, you know what? I got to fix this screen. Hold on 1 second. There we go. I have to like use this like annoying stick thing. No, see, it keeps happening. I'm trying to fix the autofocus. I have to use like this stupid stick to like lock it. Dang, what's it doing? All right, I think I got it that time. I have like this poker I have to use to like touch the touch screen on my camera in order to lock in the focus. Otherwise it like focuses on the microphone and I'm like slightly out of focus. You guys might not notice, but I'm like, those things just bother me. I'm like a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to that stuff. All right, so make sure to give the video a thumbs up. We're almost at 25. So it looks like I'm gonna be sweating while trying to solve this Rubiks Cube while answering questions at the same time. All right. Omar says, I'm currently waiting for my Payoneer verification. And once that happens and I sell a product on eBay, will the money be instantly available for purchasing, or do I need another way to fulfill the orders? Thanks. So Payoneer is something I'm not too familiar with, to be honest. I can still answer your question for you, but I'm not too familiar with it. A lot of you watching aren't going to be too familiar with it either. What it is it's a different way to get paid through eBay. So instead of the money going to your bank account, or like it used to go to PayPal, now it's going to go to Payoneer. It's basically like a replacement for a bank account, and it's primarily used by sellers outside the United States. Most sellers here in the United States, if you're here, you're just going to connect your bank account to eBay, and then eBay will send the money directly to your bank accounts. Super easy, super convenient that way. But as for when the funds are available, whether you use Payoneer or you have a bank account, the money is not available right away like it used to be. eBay really wants to protect the relationship that it has with its customers. It wants to make sure that its customers never feel like they're being scammed. So what they do is they will hold the money until you actually ship out the item, or again, your supplier ships out the item, you're able to upload a tracking number, and then eventually they will release the money to you. So in the meantime, you have to use a credit card to fulfill your orders. I suggest getting a good cashback or points credit card. You can really rack up a lot of points that way. Use that to fulfill the orders. Once the orders are fulfilled and you get the money released to you, you can use part of that money to pay off the credit cards, and you'll keep the rest as profit. And that's basically how the system works. If you don't have a credit card, then you can use like a debit card as long as you have enough cash to kind of cover you during that period. That's always going to be the case, no matter how old your eBay account is. eBay does that. It's just the protections that they have built in to prevent against scammers. I can't say I blame them. That's the same thing that Amazon does as well. And Facebook does. So it's really not uncommon practice at all. So we are at the 19 thumbs up. Just a reminder, once we get to 25 thumbs up, I will attempt to solve this Rubiks Cube while answering questions for you guys. So just a few more thumbs up. Corinne says, the title of this live stream is Live eBay Dropshipping Q&A. Is it appropriate to ask Facebook Marketplace questions for this particular Q&A? Yeah, absolutely. That title is just one that we threw up there. Sometimes I just reuse old settings and it automatically uses those titles. So absolutely, you can ask me any questions that you want. eBay dropshipping, Facebook Marketplace dropshipping, any different way to make money online that you want, and I'll do my best to answer them. Primarily here on this channel, we talk about eBay dropshipping and Facebook Marketplace dropshipping. Facebook Marketplace, if you're not familiar with it, it's when we go into Facebook, you can actually click right onto Facebook Marketplace. It's free to use it. You don't even have to sign up for anything else. And then once you are actually signed in there, you can start listing up items for sale. It's very, very beginner-friendly way to start selling products online. And that combined with dropshipping, which is very kind of hands-off in terms of not touching products. You don't have to store inventory or buy them up front. It's really amazing beginner business model to start out with. So yeah, feel free to ask questions about either one of those. Okay. Interesting News says, hey, Paul, can you explain about uploading tracking numbers on eBay on time to be top rated, and some more tips about tracking numbers. So when you're selling on eBay, eBay always gives you these ratings. You're either below standard, above standard, or top rated. You want to aim for above standard. Above standard is easy to get to. That's where you have to be. If you fall below standard, that's when you're in trouble. So think of it as a class where the class basically has pass-fail. Like one of those pass-fail classes in college, you're either failing, you're below standard, or you're passing, you're above standard. It doesn't really matter once you're passing how much you pass by, as long as you're passing, right? Because you don't actually get like a number grade. It's either pass or fail. Same thing with eBay. Below standard is bad. You don't want to be in that position, but above standard is perfect. That's where you want to be. Now, like I said, there is something technically above standard called top rated. But for what we do with dropshipping, it's unrealistic to expect to get to that level. And there's really no benefit to being top rated as a dropshipper. You don't really get any benefits there. So don't even worry about getting top rated. Just worry about staying above standard. So how do you stay above standard? Well, eBay looks at a bunch of different things, and one of them being that whether or not you upload your tracking numbers and you upload them on time. So it is one of the important metrics to keep on top of. When your supplier ships out the item, they will probably email you, or you might have to log in to get the tracking number for that order. When you get those tracking numbers, you should upload them to eBay. Upload them as soon as possible so that customers get them faster and are happy that they got their tracking number. They're able to keep track of their order, and the tracking number is required for eBay so you don't fall below standard. So the best thing that you can do really is when orders are coming in, you want to place those orders as quickly as possible. That way you get the tracking number as quickly as possible. You're not waiting on the tracking number. So that's the first thing I would do. Second thing is, as you get the tracking numbers, make sure you are uploading them as soon as possible. And then third, for any tracking numbers that aren't able to be uploaded onto eBay, make sure they are converted to ones that can be uploaded so they are valid tracking numbers. And I think those are really the best tips that I can give you when it comes to tracking numbers. Just Brittany says, do you know of any wholesalers that you can use to dropship on eBay? Yes, I do. A few things I want to say about this though, Brittany. Before I answer your question, what does Brittany mean by wholesale? Well, as we are dropshipping, there's really two different suppliers that you can use. There's retail suppliers and there's wholesale suppliers. Retail suppliers, think Walmart, Amazon.com, HomeDepot.com, Overstock.com, Wayfair.com. These are all retail websites that you can purchase items from, and those retailers will ship the items to our customers. Wholesale dropshipping, on the other hand, is when you actually connect up with a wholesale supplier, distributor, or manufacturer, and they will ship the items to our customers. It's more difficult to set up because there's more steps involved to getting these relationships with these wholesalers, but you usually get better pricing. There's less fluctuations in price and stock levels, which makes your life easier as a dropshipper, and it's totally compliant with eBay's terms of service. So if you can get there, wholesale dropshipping on eBay is really a good place to be, but I understand a lot of people like to do retail in the beginning. But as for finding wholesale suppliers, it's definitely one of the most challenging parts of it. You can use websites like inventorysource.com. They have a pretty good list of wholesale suppliers that you can access with their free account. Otherwise, the best wholesale suppliers are the ones that you go out and find yourself. And that's usually through Google searches or looking at trade shows and different suppliers that attend trade shows and reaching out to them. Not every wholesaler is going to do drop shipping, so you kind of have to ask them and reach out to them and convince them. But if you might struggle to find a wholesaler, and then you just find one good one with a nice set of good products, and that can make the whole difference. That can be basically your entire store right there. With just one or two wholesalers. So don't give up. You got to keep moving and trying to find those wholesalers because, like I said, you just find that one or two and you can be really set. But once you find those wholesale suppliers, don't share them with other people because that is part of the secret. Something like Walmart. I can tell you we use Walmart as a supplier because there's so many items that Walmart sells. The chances of us crossing over the same products is very low. I mean, they have tens of thousands of products. Wholesalers might just have a couple dozen products, and only maybe like a handful of those really do well on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or wherever you're selling. So it's one of the secrets that you want to keep. You don't want people to know which wholesale supplier you're using for that reason, so they don't just kind of become your competition. Okay. Jeffrey says, have your sales been affected by the economy or the end of summer season? My sales have gone to almost zero or gone to zero for August. Yeah, sales definitely fluctuate as the year goes on, as seasons change, different quarters. So that's normal. That's an ebb and flow. And definitely summer is a slow time of the year for all retailers in general. People just like to spend more time outside. And I think if you think about this without even looking at numbers, this year, I would imagine would be down because one, the economy is, I would say inflation is kind of skyrocketing. So we are seeing that things are just costing more money. So people are having to save more money, not do so much discretionary shopping, which definitely will affect us as retailers, dropshippers. And also it's the end of the summer. And also people for years had been locked down inside, and now people are finally getting out. It's been slowly happening over the past year, but I think more and more people this summer were just able to get out and didn't want to spend so much time inside shopping online. So I think those kind of things combined, I'm not surprised that people are seeing slower sales. I've seen slower sales this summer than normal. But the good news is that back to school season is starting, and then we're going to have Halloween before you know it, which is a major retail holiday. And then, of course, we'll have the rest of quarter four, which will just be always is bananas. And also, there's a video I just made that will be coming out soon where I actually talk about products that do well during a recession. Whether we're in a recession or not, doesn't matter. When the economy is slowing down, it's things that will do well no matter what. So you want to definitely check out that video when it comes out because I think you'll get a lot of value out of that. So we are at 30 likes. I'll be solving the Rubiks Cube in just a minute, but I want to get to a few more questions before we do that. Okay. Do we need to use Payoneer for a payment on eBay dropshipping? Says Baryal. No, you don't, but if you're here in the United States, if you're outside the United States, you might have to use Payoneer. Okay, great question from Ash. Ash wants to know, how long did it take you to make your first sale on eBay and Facebook Marketplace when you first got started? So eBay, I want to say it took about a week or so, maybe a couple of weeks. I don't remember exactly. I remember my first sale and where I was at work during my lunch break, and I had my phone with me and the sale notification went off, and I was like flipping out inside my head, but I was eating lunch at my desk, so I didn't want to like cause a scene, but I was pretty excited about that. And then of course that was just the first sale. Then I made another, and then I made a few a day, and then many a day. So it's a really amazing feeling when you make that first sale. You'll never forget it. You'll never forget the product you sell either. Mine was an ice scraper for a car, to clean off a car windshield, like a brush and ice scraper. This was in January. So I was pretty damn excited about that. Facebook Marketplace, I made my first sale the same day. I think just bringing all the experience that I had from eBay dropshipping and bringing that onto Facebook Marketplace, I had years of experience, I think just allowed me to accelerate things. And that's just really kind of a testament to the fact that, so many people try to figure out online businesses, try to figure out things like eBay, Facebook Marketplace on their own, and they're starting from scratch with no experience or very little experience. But if you learn from someone, or if you have past experience or are able to learn from someone with a ton of past experience, it can really accelerate things, and you're able to see growth much, much faster and really save yourself literally months of time doing it that way. What kind of items, says Jeffrey, what kind of items should we look for? Logarithm quick sales? I'm not sure. I think there's like a typo in there. So maybe... if you're looking for items to make quick sales, Jeffrey, maybe that's what you're asking, then and you say to boost the rest of our listings, what I would really focus on are cheap items. Cheaper items will sell faster. People think less about them, about the purchasing decision when they go to buy it. They see a $200 item, they're going to think about that. They might shop around. But if they're buying a $15, $20 item, they might just go ahead and purchase it without shopping around so much. It's more of an impulse purchase. So those are types of items that will just sell faster. And like you said, the more like you kind of hinted at, the more items that you sell, that's good for eBay. That's good for eBay's algorithm, because that shows eBay, hey, this seller, they sell products, they fulfill orders. Let's send them more sales, more traffic, and which will hopefully should result in more sales. So that's what I would focus on, those cheaper items and seasonal items, because seasonal items will always sell faster as well. So right now, at the beginning of August, I would start looking at back to school items, cheap back to school items, because those are going to sell really fast around this time of year. Please smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, Lorenzo says, do you have your virtual assistants working, doing their jobs right on their computer, or do you have them using software like TeamViewer and then access your computer and do the task? No, I have them do it right on their own computer. So if you're not sure what Lorenzo means, basically you can have someone remotely, like I could give you a link and you can access that link and be able to control my computer, basically. I think that's what TeamViewer is. So you can control my computer, and the thought there is that I'm accessing eBay from my computer. So my virtual assistants, when they use something like TeamViewer, they will also be accessing eBay from my computer. And that will look better to eBay because eBay sees everything happening from one IP address, one computer. And I understand that, but why you might want to do that, why you're afraid to have them access it from overseas. But I've always, when it comes to eBay, I've always had my VAs just log in from their computer overseas, and I've never had an issue with it. With Facebook, I do have them log in with a VPN, a dedicated static VPN that we purchased through IP Burger. So whenever I log into that Facebook account, I use that IP address, and my VAs use that IP address as well. I don't know if that's necessary, but that's just the way I've always done it when it comes to Facebook Marketplace. But with shops, we don't use that with Facebook shops. Okay. All right, Lorenzo says, do you give your virtual assistants your password, credit card information? What do you use? Do you use a software called 1Password to give them access to your passwords, or do you use your credit card to do fulfillment yourself? All right, so I do have a course that teaches you like all this stuff, all about, if you're inside my Facebook course, I teach you how to do Facebook Marketplace, I teach you how to do Facebook shops, and I teach you how to hire virtual assistants to help you with that as well. And I teach you all of this stuff, like how to protect your account from virtual assistants. My eBay course, when you sign up, you will also get an offer to sign up for the virtual assistant course, which is specifically for eBay and teaches you that stuff as well, but specifically for eBay. But I'll answer your question anyway. Just wanted to tell you that if you want more in-depth info. When it comes to kind of that stuff, I give my virtual assistants the passwords that they need and the credit card information that they need. So a lot of websites like Walmart will store your credit card information on it. So when a virtual assistant logs into my Walmart account, I do give them my email and password for that. When they log in, they get to purchase items, and I never have to give them my credit card information, right? So that saves you a lot of kind of fear there by doing it that way. Now, in terms of passwords, I do give them passwords that they need. This is what I was alluding to, because inside my course, I teach you ways to have your virtual assistants, access your Facebook shop without having full control over it, accessing what they need on eBay, or be able to help you with eBay without them ever having to log into your eBay account and things like that. But in the event that I do have to have them log into something like my Walmart account, like my eBay account, I just give them the username and password, because even if you share it to them with something like 1Pass or 1Password, they can still get it, the password. So if you're not familiar with 1Password, it's like a Chrome extension that you only need to remember one password. Let's say your password is 123ABC. Disclaimer, that is a terrible password. Don't use it. But let's say that is your master password. So you open up your computer, you open up your browser, you click the Chrome extension, you type 123ABC. So now you're logged into the 1Password Chrome extension, and that will autofill all your passwords. All the rest of your passwords are stored in there. And you can also share your passwords with family members or friends. The problem is when you share it, they can't see the password right away, but there's pretty easy ways for them to be able to hack it and see it if they really wanted to. So, I mean, yeah, it's not really the safest thing, but it's safe if you have virtual assistants that you trust. So that is really what it's all about, finding virtual assistants that you have worked with and that you really do trust. Alexia says, hey, Paul, I can't seem to find a link to the Titans dropshipping group on Facebook in your eBay course. So Alexia, the course, the eBay dropshipping course, comes with a bunch of bonuses when you enroll in it. And one of the bonuses is that you get access to a private group, a private forum. That group used to be on Facebook, but we don't use Facebook anymore for the group for a number of reasons, mostly quality control. Facebook is very easy for spammers to get access to the group somehow. And then the group was just full of a lot of spam people trying to sell stuff. It was kind of a mess. So we put it on our private website where we have much more control. It's a lot nicer experience for all of you students. So inside the course, the eBay course, in the first module, it's either lesson 1 or 2, I think, there is a link to that private group. It also would have been emailed to you. That is what you want to join. That is what we have instead of the Facebook group. All right, George says, besides Walmart, what other retailer stores do you recommend for drop shipping? So the ones that I use for Facebook Marketplace are Walmart and Home Depot mostly. I was using Amazon, but Amazon has gotten tougher for us drop shippers to use them. They become like less friendly to drop shipping. So it's just a lot easier if you don't use them. But on AutoDS, if you use AutoDS, they have a bunch of suppliers that they integrate with. Any one of those are on there for reasons because people use them and have had success with them. So Overstock, Wayfair, different suppliers like that are all good suppliers and suppliers that I've used in the past myself. I just have kind of focused in on Walmart and Home Depot as kind of like my favorite ones. And that kind of segues well into Sake's question here. Is it worth it to use only one supplier for eBay dropshipping as a beginner? Because I use only Walmart. Yeah, and I love that strategy. When I first started, I tried a whole bunch of suppliers, and then I realized that I really liked working with Home Depot. So I got rid of all my other suppliers and just worked with Home Depot. And I was able to understand it really well, how it works, streamline the process, find all the ways to save money the best way I can. And then I expanded and added Walmart as well once I built up my team as well. But it's a really good strategy because it really helps streamline the process, really helps you master the supplier. And we have had a lot of luck just kind of focusing in on one supplier. So I do think that is a smart idea, but don't be afraid to kind of experiment a little at first to see which suppliers you like. All right, let's go ahead and I will, as promised, we are at 38 thumbs up. If you haven't given the video a thumbs up yet, please do after and if I can solve the Rubiks Cube. So I'm gonna mix this up. I'm going to try to solve this Rubiks Cube while simultaneously answering questions and not getting distracted. So I'll close my eyes so you guys know I'm not cheating, but I promise you I'm not that good at this. So I don't even know how I would cheat. And you guys can see it is pretty well mixed up. I know the lighting isn't the best for this camera. There we go. So, okay, let me try to answer questions at the same time. Rhonda says, is there a good eBay lister that uploads the photos at the correct size? Okay, so when you are listing products onto eBay, right, there are, this is going to be so hard to do. It's like two very cognitively tasking activities. A lot of people in the beginning, like when I first started, I would just manually list items onto eBay. So in other words, I would find an item on Walmart, I would copy everything myself and like the description, paste it into a listing on eBay. I would then download the images to my computer and upload them to eBay. That is a slow, tedious process. So what me and my team developed is this Chrome extension called the Dropshipping Titans Marketplace Helper. And that helper, will do that whole process for you automatically. It just copies everything over. You just click one button. Once you sign up for the software, you have to download a Chrome extension. And then once that Chrome extension is added, it adds a button to the supplier page, like to the Walmart page, to the Amazon page, even to Autodesk. And you click that one button and it will instantly list the product onto eBay for you into a new listing. And it looks like, and when eBay looks at it, it looks like you're just creating a listing from scratch. It doesn't look like you're using any type of software. So it's completely non-API. So that's what I would recommend, Rhonda. I think the link to it is in the description of this video. It's called the Dropshipping Titans Marketplace Helper. Okay, one question down, one layer down. So I'm on my way here. Baryol has another question. Says, I'm starting eBay dropshipping. What software do I need as a new and beginner dropshipper? So when it comes to software, I think the most important software that you need as a beginner is repricing and restocking software, and also listing software. I think those two things are going to save you the most time. Really, the only software you need, even to run a not beginner store, even as not beginner, you're going to need something to list items, something for repricing, restocking, and something for product research. All of them make a huge difference when it comes to your store and the success of your store. Product research software like Zeek Analytics, you can do that on your own. It's just going to take a lot more time. The software really helps to speed it up. Something like listing, again, you can do that on your own, but you use the Marketplace Helper, it's really going to speed it up, and it's, stuff like that's inexpensive. And then software like Autodesk does the repricing and restocking. So if the item you listed from Walmart was $20 when you listed it, someone buys it and then you go to fulfill it and now it's $50, you're going to lose money. So the software like Autodesk, it keeps track of that. It stays on top of that so that you don't accidentally sell items that are out of stock or items whose prices have changed. Okay. Oh, I just messed it up. All right. This is hard to do. Concentrate on two things at once. I've heard you actually can't concentrate on two things at once, so maybe that's part of the problem. Where did I leave off? Alexia, I'm sorry. Jib Jab says it's under lesson 1.4. Thank you. Hello, Kevin. We talked about that. Where are you from originally, Paul? In New York, but I don't live there anymore. I live in Colorado. So I'll answer two questions at once. Imran says, what's the best auto ordering software for eBay? And Carlos says, does your Amazon workaround still work? So like I was saying before, when we first started dropshipping onto like eBay and Facebook Marketplace, a really good supplier to use was Amazon. Of course, everyone wants to use Amazon. It's a really good supplier. They have fast shipping. They have great customer service and different stuff like that. But as time went on, Amazon basically said that they don't like us using them for dropshipping. So they'll basically shut down your Prime account if you keep doing it. So it's not really like the best supplier to use anymore for that reason. Now there are workarounds for it, but they they're getting even harder to do, and it basically involves you having to create like multiple Amazon accounts over and over again. So it's not like the best solution. The best solution out there that we have found for that I know does work for drop shipping from Amazon is to using Autodesk's fulfillment service. Now that means you have to use Autodesk API, but if you're using that anyway, you can drop ship from Amazon. Just have Autodesk auto fulfill the orders for you. They do it with their own account, and they're getting around the bans working with it themselves. So that is kind of the best auto off ordering option, and really the best option if you want to drop ship from Amazon. But any sort of technical issues with Autodesk, I would reach out to them about that. When eBay start taking tax, I don't understand what you mean. They automatically charge for sales tax and then automatically remit that sales tax to the States, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm almost done with this, guys. I'm really close. Hey, what's up, Mike? Where's your water at? I'm getting kind of thirsty. I got my water here, but I can't answer questions, solve the Rubiks Cube, and drink water at the same time. So I got to finish the cube and then I can drink my water. Usually I'm chugging that stuff because my mouth gets so dry. Okay, that's fine. Now I lost my place. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not getting any views on my eBay listings? So views really don't matter all that much. What really matters is sales. You can have an item that gets very, very few views, but is getting sales. That's a really good sign. So don't worry about views, worry about sales. Now, if your items aren't getting sales, then the two things you really have to focus on are product research and title optimization. Those two things are the most important. So chances are one of those two things you're not doing as well as you could be. You're either not doing product research well enough. You might want to invest in something like Zeek Analytics to help you with that. I think the affiliate link I have down below is a trial that you can use for that. So that's what I would start with, and then really learn how to do product research well. That's the other really important thing. This is a very hard step. This is something that requires a lot of concentration. So that's why I haven't really been working at solving it, because if I look away for 1 second, I feel like I'm just going to screw it up. All right, guys. So I know you guys didn't have any faith in me when it came to this, but check it out. Solved it. So I think that deserves a thumbs up. What do you guys think? All right. Enough of that. Okay, now I can finally drink my water. All right. Mike D says, what eBay numbers do you use for bookkeeping? The sales numbers under performance never meet the transactions reports. Not sure which is accurate. We always go by the reports. That is what we print out for our records, and then obviously the 1099 that we get. Yeah, 1099 that we get from eBay is kind of the final determination of how much money has come in through eBay. Like that is the most important thing. Yeah, my pleasure. Kavindu says, if I'm to drop ship an item which is big, like patio, from Amazon to eBay, will the customer have to pay clearance taxes or duty fees in the United States? I don't think I've never seen that for items as long as you're shipping to other customers in the United States, like US to US. I haven't ever seen anything like that. I have seen some pretty kind of larger kind of cost taxed on when you're shipping some items to California. They have all these kind of extra charges for Prop 65, and then some delivery charges for big items, but not from Amazon. I've only ever seen that from Wayfair, kind of more expensive delivery charges that as long as you're aware of it beforehand, you can factor it into the cost of the item. Can you dropship pet food on eBay? You can. I've seen people do it. I don't do it myself, not that I know of, but there's lots of items I sell that I don't know that I sell. So Sandy says, do you still do your YouTube videos on hot products each month? Yeah, Sandy. So every single month I release a video that's called like best products to sell in August 2022, July 2022, September 2022. I make one of those every single month. Make sure to subscribe and watch those videos because I not only just tell you good products to sell, I also kind of tell you the thought process behind them so that you can go out and find other products yourself, learn how to do product research. I say that so many times, it's the most important thing you have to master is product research. And that's why I make so many videos about it. If you watch all those videos as I make them, just subscribe. And as those videos come up, watch them, learn the process, kind of get inside my brain and how product research works. You're gonna absorb a lot of that information as I say it over and over again and give you more and more examples. It's really the best way to learn outside of doing it yourself. And you should be doing both because doing it yourself is the best way of doing it. But if you're doing it wrong, that's not gonna help you. So the two of them together, I think, is the best way to learn how to do product research. So yes, I'd still make those videos. What's good? Is it possible for an international person, someone not from the United States, to dropship on Facebook Marketplace in the United States from their home country? It is possible. I see people do it, but it's not easy, primarily because Facebook is going to require from you a social security number after like $600 in sales, and you're not going to be able to do that. So it's really just not going to work. PJ's Ecom 2050. My initials are PJ, so I almost made my channel something like PJ Profit, something like that. Maybe I should have been PJ's Ecom 2050. Okay, what's an eBay acceptable response for when your supplier sells out of an item you sold as a dropshipper? So this is what I was talking about before. You don't want to get into a situation where you sell an item. Let's say I sold this Rubiks Cube on eBay and I go to fulfill the order and my supplier is out of stock. What do you do? Well, the first thing you want to do is see if you can find this somewhere else from another supplier. That is the first thing you should do. If they don't have it, then the next thing you want to do is maybe even try something that's sending them something that's so similar they won't notice it's different. Like this technically isn't a Rubiks Cube, but it's kind of a close enough version of it. But you got to tread carefully there. You really don't want to cancel any items on eBay for being out of stock. You can get in trouble for that. So those can hit your metrics. So you don't want to have that happen. Okay. TV Box says, how much money can I make in 3 months with your course and software? Possible rough. What I suggest you do is head on over to dropshippingtitans.com. And that's where my course sales page is. And you can actually scroll down pretty close to the top are a bunch of student results, screenshots. And they say, hey, I've only been doing this for 3 months. You can see they've done whatever, $20,000 in sales, whatever it was. You could see real students' results. I think those speak for themselves and really give you more of a realistic expectation of how people are doing. So check that out. I think that's the best place for you to look. Okay, we talked about this, Kimberly. Basically don't use Amazon unless you are willing to create many Amazon accounts. And also, or if you're willing to use Autodesk order fulfillment. We answered this one, Luca. We answered. I'm behind on the chat, so I'm only like 2/3 of the way through it, so I don't see them live. I get them like several minutes later. Answer that. Yes, exactly. Do I need a bank account to start dropshipping? You do, the real muffin seller, because you need to connect a bank account to your eBay account, to your Facebook Marketplace account, so that the money can be sent there. That's the way to do it. Like I said, people do it with Payoneer. I don't have experience doing that. I just found the most straightforward way is to use a bank account. Lucvin, I know you're here every week, but I never know how to say your name. Can I still sell used items on eBay now that I started drop shipping on my account? Yeah, you can. So if you have an eBay account that you already use for maybe items that you find at thrift stores around their house that you're trying to get rid of, maybe you go to garage sales, you can use that same account for drop shipping. I always think it's better to start a new account. That way you are more organized, one account for used items, one account for drop shipping. But if you're just getting started and you don't feel like going through the process of setting up a new account, certainly you can drop ship on the same account and you can always open a new one later to kind of split them up. Yeah, there's really no set number for how many orders will Amazon Prime allow you to place before it kind of shuts you down. There's really no, it's really based on the different addresses you ship to. There's really no number. So I wouldn't, if you like your Amazon Prime account, I wouldn't risk it at all. Yeah, so keep looking, Brittany, for that wholesale supplier. Most people are going to give up pretty quickly because it's going to be, a new process for them. They're not going to really understand where to find them. People give up pretty easily when it comes to most things in life, most online businesses. Whenever it starts to get a little bit tough, you stick with it, keep looking, and it will begin to make sense. You'll begin to find those suppliers. You'll find the what's the word I was looking for? The trade show lists that have all the suppliers on them. You can contact them, and eventually you're going to call one, and they're going to be willing to do it. And that one supplier, you only have to find that one, and it's going to make a huge difference. Is CJ Dropshipping a good supplier? I don't like them because most of their items are coming from China, and I don't like dropshipping from China. Other people will disagree with me on that, but that's my advice. I don't dropship from China. It takes too long for customers to get their items. There are plenty of suppliers based here in the United States, whether that's retail or wholesale suppliers. And yeah, I don't have to worry about anything like this, says Kavindu. For big items that are being drop shipped from China, will the customer have to pay clearance tax or duty fee? I don't even know, because the only items I've ever drop shipped from China, I did it a bit in the past, were all small items, so I didn't have to worry about that. And again, I don't even do it at all now because it's just such a pain and bad customer experience. Jim Bob says, hey, I'm just looking at starting, but I am hesitant. What should I do? Jim Bob, you should just get started. There's always going to be hesitation. There's always going to be reasons why you don't want to start. You don't want to move forward. You're going to keep watching videos on YouTube, which is great, but watching videos isn't getting you results. You actually have to take action, man. You actually finally have to take action on one of these things that you've been researching and looking at. Find the one that's like speaking to you. Like one of them is probably standing out to you now, whether that's drop shipping, whether that's FBA, whether that's going to garage sales and flipping stuff, whatever it is, man, you just gotta get started. It's the number one thing that I see holding people back. Most people I see who actually get started and push through the first couple of hurdles see success. It's the people who can't even get past that first hurdle, which is getting started, and maybe the second and third one, there's always going to be some resistance there. Like I was talking to Brittany about, where Brittany's gotten started. She wants to do it, but she is having trouble finding a wholesale supplier. It sounds to me like she's going to keep going. She's getting over that hurdle. You're going over that hurdle, and most people aren't willing to do that. So if you're willing to do that, you're already cutting out most of your competition, because most people are not willing to do that. So it really reduces the number of people that you have to worry about as competition. You just got to actually go and make that first step, because no one can do that for you. It has to be you that makes that first step. I can only take you so far. I can take you to the water. I can take a horse to a river. I can't make it drink, right? And the same thing for you. I can give you everything. I can give you everything inside the course. You can, sign up for the course, get everything you need. It's a step-by-step guide, but you actually have to take the first step, then the second one, then the third one. So you just got to go for it, man. There's really no good time ever to start an online business, to make a change in your life. But at some point, you just got to say, you know what? I've been saying for a while now that this isn't a good time for this reason. This isn't a good time for this reason. And you just got to say, this is getting ridiculous. Okay, I got to just finally say, I'm going to make it happen no matter what. Sake says, does word order matter in title optimization on eBay? Yeah, it does. So title optimization is what I was talking about before, where you don't want to take the default title given to you by Walmart, especially not from your wholesale supplier, the usually terrible titles. You want to change that title. You want to make it better. And you make it better by filling it with keywords that people are actually going to be searching for when they're looking for that item. Now, the most important thing is that you just get the keywords in there. But you want to front load it. You want the front of the title, the first few words, to be the most important keywords that are most searched for and that most accurately on their own describe the item. So if it's like a wooden table, you might say wooden table or large wooden table. And then after that, give the dimensions, give what it's made of, give what the legs are made of, or something like that. Other things that people might search for. So the first few words are the ones that matter, Sake. Hussein says, hey, Paul, I heard that eBay can figure out that you're drop shipping when you just save images to download and the product images. Would you recommend doing screenshots instead? My question for people who say this is, who told you that? Did eBay tell you that? Did the developers at eBay tell you that? We hear so many rumors and about eBay dropshipping, different stuff like that. People saying, I've been banned for this reason, or I heard someone got banned for this reason. I heard that eBay can discover that you're dropshipping based on the images. And my question is always, what is the source of that? Most of the time, there's really no reliable source. There's no one. A lot of times there'd be rumors that people are getting banned for this and this reason. But when you ask, hey, were you banned for it? Well, no, I just heard. Who'd you hear from? This guy. And you ask that guy. So I go, no, I didn't get banned either. I heard it from this guy. And no one actually knows who was actually banned for that reason. It's just kind of these rumors that come up. Good example of that. This isn't actually a great example, but Amazon. Amazon, up until last year, had no issues with us drop shipping from them. You could drop ship from Amazon, buy thousands of products a month, ship them to different customers that you had from eBay, and Amazon wouldn't care. But every single year, people would say, oh, I heard that if you drop ship from Amazon, Amazon will shut down your account. And that was never true until last year. That's why I say it's not a great example. So that is what I mean, stuff like that. And there's just no evidence to support this. There's no reason to believe that this is true because no one at eBay has ever said that. There's no kind of proof of that. But sure, if you want to screenshot it, you can go ahead and do that. Where can I get your Chrome extension for Amazon through Facebook? Not exactly sure what you mean, but if you down below, there's a link to the Chrome extension. You could check out more information about that. It's called the Dropshipping Titans Marketplace Helper. I hate the Rubiks Cube. Why? How do you hate the Rubiks Cube, man? It's just, what has it ever done to you? I don't do store reviews anymore. I used to do these in the past, but it's just a time issue. I don't do it anymore. Is Etsy a good supplier? I've never used them. I know other people have used them to dropship from them. The problem with them is that a lot of it's homemade goods, so a lot of those items are going to be different, each of them. So the product image you have might not match the item that they're getting. So that can kind of be an issue, and also supply issues. So inventory issues could be an issue as well. Okay, a couple more questions here. Please smash the thumbs up button. Road to 100K subs. Yeah, we're closing in 100,000 subscribers. Nate says, it's sort of scary thinking that eBay can shut down my business if they don't like my account. What is the best way to avoid this? Yeah, they do have, control like that, but it's the same thing for Amazon, same thing for Etsy, same thing for Mercari, same thing for Amazon. It's just the nature of the beast. And, you're really getting access to a lot by signing up for them. You get access to all of their customers, which are a lot, and you don't ever have to pay for any advertising. It's a pretty sweet deal. And, it's something that we all have to deal with as dropshippers, as resellers selling on these marketplaces. You're always at the whim of them, but I think the trade-off is a really good one, because you do get access to all of them, all those customers. And if it doesn't work on eBay, there are ways to create new accounts. You can start selling on Facebook, take all the knowledge you learned, take it to Facebook, take all the knowledge you learned, take it to Amazon and adapt it for Amazon. So there are a lot of options, even if for some reason your account does get shut down. But you can avoid it from happening just by following eBay's rules. You can do all wholesale, which is totally compliant with eBay's terms of service. You can make sure you prime your eBay account correctly, which is something I teach my students how to do in the course, so that everything just is kind of the way it should be in eBay's eyes, and everything is all good with that. So those are kind of the main things, tracking numbers, avoiding not answering disputes that come up and returns that come up, all those things, making sure your feedback is good. Those basic customer service things go a long way with eBay. What credit cards do I recommend for drop shipping? It's probably going to be the last question of the day. I would really eventually set up a business. I love business credit cards, and my favorite one is the Capital One Spark cards. You get flat 2% back on everything. Really, really good card, and the monthly fee is really low. Amex has some good cards as well, but the yearly fee is pretty high. It's several $100s, where the Capital One card is free your first year and then $100 after that. I think it's well worth it for all the value. You get 2% back. I mean, we easily make $100 first couple of weeks using, or something. I can't do math in my head, but it's pretty quickly we can make money with that card. Silver Alex says, I know how to sell the Rubiks Cube as well, and my personal record is 35 seconds. Wow. I don't know if I could do it in 35 seconds. I think I've done it in a minute before. That was when I was much younger. I'm kind of rusty. I haven't done it in a long time. I just got one recently, so I'm trying to kind of remember how to do it. How can I make my Facebook Marketplace global? I don't know if you can make it global and why you would, because you don't want to ship items overseas to customers. Your suppliers won't ship there anyway. So you don't really want to do that. Just sell to customers in the United States. You have an amazing cube. Is that the name of it? Or are you just saying my cube is amazing? I don't know. It's a pretty fast one. I like it. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you. There's a link to Zeek Analytics. All right. So that is it for today. Thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out. Thanks for all the great questions and for the encouragement with solving the Rubiks Cube. I really appreciate that. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you during next week's live Q&A. Bye for now.